afternoon, JDM crew. John here with another inventory video for JDM EXPO. And from this beautiful dash layout, you're probably wondering which Skyline is this. And for those of you a little bit more familiar would know this is the R33. So, yeah, it's for the most part, there's a lot of stock components on here, but the suspension is modified. We do have a gritty intercooler, but overall the horsepower is not much more than stock. It's opened up just a little bit. But what's really awesome is this bad boy right here. We have a replacement transmission with, it's only got a little over 600 kilometers right now. So the previous owner took care of that. Put on an EXPO Sport clutch, and yeah, overall really fresh. While they had the transmission dropped out, they also cleaned up the starter, so a good bit of service there. Quite pricey if you guys know about getting transmission work done. So all in all, really fresh. And as you can see here, we got this D1 spec steering wheel, and as you can see, the ride is pretty firm. We do have not sure the coilover brand. You can check with our sales team on there. That I checked it out underneath. I couldn't really see any labels really well, so they might have some of that info for you. But overall, it's been really nice. We do have some aftermarket wheels and tires, and so overall, yeah, the ride is really nice here. It's not too rough, but firm. So yeah. And with these OEM seats, it's not uncomfortable, so that's good. Be able to cruise around with this. Yeah, and going through all the gears, like I mentioned, with that newer transmission, it's faring really nicely here. And for those of you wondering, yeah, we got about 76,000 kilometers on the clock here. So not even 50,000 miles yet, so overall really good. And later on I'll show you a little bit underneath, as well as we'll do the walk around at the warehouse. So all in all, really nice. You guys are going to be pretty pleased with this. Now I will say that the paint is fine, but there's like a little bit of clear coat fade on some areas, but no deal breakers there. It's all pretty good. It's got a body kit as well all around. So overall, the exterior is quite stylish. And if you click the thumbnail, yeah, you already know that. So this, very nice. Yeah, the interior though is quite pleasant. I think they might have had something mounted here before, but there are no cracks on the dash or anything, so it's in pretty good shape overall. Yeah, headliner's good. The seats are doing real nice and definitely comfortable. The carpets are fabulous. You know, they kept it pretty clean. So we do have this Car Rosaria audio deck, so you know, it does have USB input there, so you can hook up your smartphone with a cable. But yeah, overall, this definitely got quite the performance, and I'll just bring it up to the RPM here. As you can see, it goes through the RPM real nicely there, and quite pleasant overall. Very linear power delivery as you would expect from a GTR, so overall nothing too crazy here. Yeah, and definitely you can feel it's a little bit better than stock, so I think it's just more of that response. And this transmission though, I don't know, it's just very smooth delivery, even though we're not talking like any crazy horsepower. And of course, we do have the stock airbox and OEM style exhaust. I'm not sure if it is stock, but the piping diameter is pretty decent, so it should be doing pretty well. Sounds good though, so very healthy tune on this. But yeah, we'll be at the warehouse in a little bit, so you guys, let's just fast forward to that and get around to the exterior. Alright, starting here from the interior, check out this dash. It's mighty fine, no cracks, looking real good. We got the mileage here, 76131. I'm going to be adding a couple more on the way back. And yeah, Carl's Area audio deck from Pioneer. We've got the USB in, with your climate control and your front torque. Got your oil temperature and boost gauges here. And for the interior, definitely check this out. The carpet's looking good. It's a little dark there. The seats are pretty fresh. We've got this Razzo, looks like a baseball shift knob. As you can see in the back, it's all looking pretty good here, even with those carpets. So really all around this interior is pretty nice. Headliner's looking fresh. And as I step out here, you guys can see this D1 spec steering wheel. It's pretty nice, actually decently comfortable. It's a lot like the Momo or even some of the Recaros, so pretty decent shape. Very nice interior here. Door panels looking fine. We'll do a quick walk around outside before digging into the engine bay. Nice black exterior here. And definitely these 5 spokes match up pretty well. And by the way, there's that OEM exhaust there, or OEM style. Definitely seems to flow decently though. As you can see, it sits pretty flush there, and with that coilover setup here, it's pretty nice. You can see it sits real well there. Reduce that fender gap there. And the wheels are overall okay. Got a couple of scuffs on there, but definitely the offset is pretty good with this, as you can see. And there are no spacers. This is definitely a really nice offset wheel setup here. So save for a couple of scuffs, I mean overall still looks really nice. You can see the kit on here. That vented hood. Pretty awesome. And again, you can see how flush that is with that stance here. Alright, when we dig into this trunk area, you can see we got the stock sway bar battery back here and the trusty spare tire. Got some tools right there and the jack, so we got everything that we need back here. Actually, we do have all the panels. I just took them out temporarily, plus we also have a car cover here with it, but just so you guys can actually see the chassis itself on here. So looking real fresh. Got the panels ready for there, so we can also put some desiccant just to make sure that during shipment it stays fresh. Alright, and underneath of this vented hood, it kind of looks like the R33 one or the other GT style ones. And by the way, the clear coat overall is okay. There's some areas where it's kind of starting to fade, so just so you guys are aware of that. Some little chassis code right there for you. If you're interested, you can look that up, find out more info about it. And as you can see here, we got the stock airbox. And we do have right here silicone radiator hoses. And it looks like a painted version of the OEM style radiator. So overall, I didn't really notice any great performance boost. It definitely is nice and smooth, but it feels pretty stock. So for the most part though, the suspension and the ride are definitely fine, but as you can see, we've got all the suspension stuff there underneath, as well as you can see the OEM front and rear strut tower bars. Performs just fine. I mean, pretty regular for GTR, R33, but definitely with that newer transmission and the better sport clutch, thanks to Nismo, performs really right. Definitely does feel better than stock, but we're not talking about any crazy horsepower numbers here. OEM style exhaust. Yeah, you can see for the electronic traction control system and all that good stuff here. As you can see, we do have some coilovers, and underneath it's looking absolutely stunning. Just overall, looks like they even refreshed part of the undercoating here to prevent any more corrosion. It's a little bit of surface corrosion there, but we're definitely under here. It looks like they kept it in good shape. Definitely, if you're in any of those snowier climates, it's a lot nicer to have. The drivetrain's looking pretty good, and on the exhaust, just typical. Looks like a bit of corrosion, but it's not like super flaking or anything like that, so it's just a little surface. And I did want to point out, they did service the transmission, so they do have that Nismo clutch in there, so that's pretty nice. And it definitely runs real nicely there. And it looks like they need a little bit of service on other drivetrain components, so that's pretty good. Yeah, as you can see, they do have some other suspension components installed, so definitely pretty beefy there. So for the chassis and for suspension, it's pretty well set up. Skid plate, and you can see the gritty intercooler up front here. So they definitely got the important parts taken care of. Definitely recommend suspension upgrades for any of these cars, so really nice. I'll do a final walk through here. Well, there you have it, folks. It's another pretty fine R33 here, and definitely looks really good. And with that better intercooler in there and those suspension mods, and don't forget, with that OEM replacement transmission and the Nismo clutch, they also did some cleaning on the starter area, so everything's pretty fresh on here. So definitely good, especially for the reasonable mileage. It's not really that high, being only around like 70,000 kilometers. It's pretty good. I mean, we've been getting a lot of these anywhere from like 80 to 140,000 kilometers, so this is actually on the low end. And yeah, all around running really nice. It was a very smooth drive over here, and we'll be heading on back here shortly. So definitely thanks for stopping by. If you're interested in this or any other vehicles, info@jdm-expo.com. Send our sales guys an email. Our sales team is on standby, so even if you send a message through Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, probably within 24 hours they should be able to get back to you, depending on your time zone. And definitely, if you have questions about this, any other vehicles, or the process, they've got the info for you. So as always, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.